Hello, everyone. So today my team will be doing a little podcast slash discussion, and we'll be diving into the world of full stack web development. And if you've ever wondered what it takes to become a full stack developer, it is an exciting field, and you'll be in the right place. We'll be breaking down our key skills, technologies, use the tools that we need in order to attain our goal in becoming a full stack web developer. My name is Udom.
Chattra.
My name is Phanith.
And my name is Vireaktha.
Alright, so my team will be now discussing about why we picked our primary career as a full stack web developer. So I'll go first. My reason for picking it is because I want work that is not super research heavy work, and also extreme overtime work, which is something that I would compare to like AI or data science path. And I also believe that it's more stable as a career because it's high in demand. So it would be good for me, and experience in full stack makes it really highly employable. So I'll move to my teammate, ask why he picked it.
I picked this career because it is easy to learn and improve. There's ton of free and paid resource, bootcamp, and also community support. And one more is easy to find remote and hybrid job. That the web development is one of the best field for flexible working condition.
For me, the reason why I chose full stack development because I'm fascinated in building and creating website. Especially, I think I can work independently, which means I can work from start to the end, and about the front end and the back end, and also another reason is freelancing. I can be a freelancer that can work from anywhere and not being the employee for any company.
Okay, so the reason why I picked this as my primary career, it's because of the side hustle potential. Freelance work, startups, and SaaS projects are easier to launch with full stack, and the other reason why is versatile career opportunities. You can work in startup, big tech, freelancing, or even starting your own projects and stuff.
So as for the secondary career that my team has picked, we have picked cloud developer as a secondary career. Now, to kick things off, one of my team members will be discussing the knowledge segment of our roadmap. He will be talking about the front end aspect of a full stack web developer.
So about the knowledge to learn, we have to understand first about the front end. We divide into three. The first is about core, and core also have three. First is the HTML. So this is the foundation of any website. It used to structure the content of your page. And second is CSS. It have just like HTML content and making your website look beautiful and professional. And next is JavaScript. That JavaScript is essential for adding interactivity to your website. And next is about framework. So about framework is the pre-build that make the front-end development easier. And the popular framework that include three. The first is the Angular. And about framework, these are the pre-built tools that make the front-end development easier. And the popular one include Angular, Vue.js, and React.js. And the last is responsive design that ensure your website look good on your device, whether it's a desktop, tablet, or smartphone. The two frameworks like Bootstrap and Taiwan CS that can help you build responsive design quickly.
On to the next part. Me and my team member over here, we will be talking about the back-end aspect of a full stack web developer, and we'll go through how each part works, as well as the DevOps and deployment segment of our roadmap. So to start off, my teammate will be talking about the programming language of backend.
So for the backend, it's where the magic happens behind the scene. That it handles the data storage, server side logic, and more. That the language required for backend that you will need to learn at at least one back-end programming language common choice like Node.js, Python, that Python with framework like the Django or Flask, and also Ruby on Rails. That another thing is database. That at the backend, you will need to work with database to store and retrieve data. There are two main types like actual databases. Example include SQL, and also another one is NoSQL databases.
Alright, so for my end of backend development, I'll be discussing about APIs and DevOps and deployment. So for APIs, we know API allows for communication between the front end and the back end, and there are two approaches we have chosen here, which is RESTful APIs and GraphQL. So for RESTful APIs, we use HTTP methods like get, post, put, and delete to communicate with the backend, and they follow this architecture to make it easy to scale. And authentication is often handled with JSON web tokens or OAuth. And as for GraphQL, unlike REST I mentioned earlier, it allows client to request only the data that they need, so it keeps it a lot more simple. And this reduced the overfetching or underfetching of data, and it's also widely used by companies that we know like Facebook or Shopify. GitHub also use it, and RESTful APIs are simpler and widely used, while GraphQL is a more powerful alternative for data-heavy applications. And the next segment that I'll discuss on our roadmap is DevOps and deployment. So once our backend is built, we need to deploy and maintain it, and this is where DevOps come in, because we have to ensure smooth development, testing, and deployment. And what that means is version control and collaboration, such as Git and GitHub. We know it. It provides cloud storage for one, for repositories, and allow collaboration among developers. Tools like GitHub Actions also allow for automation of testing and deployment. So using Git is essential, because any software project, it allows us to track change, it allows us to collaborate, and also to revert to previous versions if needed. And as for hosting and cloud services, I'm going to mention about Amazon Web Service, EC2, which stands for Elastic Compute Cloud. It's a virtual server to host applications. S3, which is a simple storage service, stores image, videos, and static assets. As for RDS, which is a relational database service, it manages database like MySQL or PostgreSQL. And OWS is highly scalable, and most major companies use it, but it requires some configuration. And as for Heroku, it allows for simplifying deployment with just one-click hosting. And it's ideal for a beginner who's starting with small projects and has limited free tier resource. And as for Netlify and Vercel, it's primarily used for front-end hosting, and it supports serverless functions. And Vercel is optimized for Next.js and full-stack applications. So AWS is most powerful but complex, while Heroku, Netlify, and Vercel are more beginner-friendly options. And now to discuss about CI/CD, which is a continuous integration and continuous deployment. It's for automating testing and deployment. We use these pipelines, and they help us deliver code more faster and more reliably. So like I mentioned earlier, stuff like GitHub Actions, it automates building, testing, and deploying codes. Jenkins, which is an open source CI/CD tool used for enterprise projects. And Travis CI and Circle CI, which is an alternative to integrate with GitHub projects. So CI and CD basically ensure that code is tested and deployed effectively.
Okay, so for skill to master, beyond just learning technology, there are like important skills that will make you a better developer. For example, like technical skill, problem solving, API integration, collaboration. For problem solving, debugging issues and optimizing performance are like very crucial for the parts and stuff. API integration third-party services like Stripe Stripe or Google Maps add functionality to your apps, and collaboration working in teams using methodologies like Agile or Scrum is essential. And other skill is like soft skills, communication, time management. Communication, being able to explain complex ideas clearly in vital, and time management, managing projects and deadlines effectively is key.
So now I'll be discussing why we picked our tech and gear requirement, or at least the tool we need to attain our goal, career path. So for hardware, our ideal spec is for a laptop, of course, with at least 16 gigs of RAM, and SSD is recommended. As for a processor, an i5 processor is minimum, or Ryzen 5, because it allows for us to smoothly use IDEs or integrated development environments. And as for tools that we might need in terms of software side, we might need like VS Code. It's very popular because it's a code editor that everyone uses. And Postman is for testing our APIs, and Figma for prototyping user interface. And another segment of our hardware that we might need is things like, for example, dual monitor, because it helps us test code easier, or multitask. And for our hardware, for a laptop, we would aim for a mid-range laptop plus free tiers, like certain platform they offer free tiers for student, like GitHub Student Pack or AWS Educate. So that is for our requirement for our hardware and tools.
Okay, so what's the course or like major that helps you with full stack development that is available in the Paragon curriculum?
I believe that in Paragon we take courses such as MIS or CS, and it definitely does help us, because even though in CS we learn about programming language like C++, which although it's not directly connected to what we're taking as our career path, which is as a full stack web developer, because we're learning different languages. But I believe that it helps because it helps us understand the structure of how codes are written and the logic in the backend side, which is important for full stack web development. And things like MIS also help us understand more, because we learn about hardware use and how networking works. So that definitely helps us understand the core foundation knowledge for working as a web developer, because we deal with every aspect of web development or application. So we basically have to understand the core knowledge of computer science, and that is why I believe it would help us reach our goal for full stack web developer. To conclude, I believe that mastering backend and DevOps is essential for becoming a full stack developer, because we need a strong backend to process data and reliable database for storage, and it is efficient for deployment tools to launch applications. And we discussed earlier about how talking about like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and then we could move on to advanced topic that I mentioned about backend. It helps, and we would remember to practice regularly and collaborate with others, and to stay curious about new technology so that it helps us in attaining our career path. And I would like to thank everyone for joining me today, and if you have any question for clarification, feel free to reach out. And until next time, happy coding.